Your soulmate finally shows their true colors. Behind your back, they are saying you look like a euro. Beloved one, we speak to you now with the softest whisper of the divine winds, carrying gentleness in every syllable, because truth delivered without the balm of love can wound the tender heart instead of guiding it toward healing. Yes, your soulmate euro, the one you held so close in your visions of forever euro, has revealed their true colors, not with thunderous proclamations shouted to your face, but quietly, subtly, behind your back in the shadows where honesty fears the light. Words have been spoken that carry the weight of unspoken resentments euro, words that paint you as a burden, as something heavy, exhausting, a load they can no longer bear alone. Hear us carefully, dear child of light. This revelation slices through the heart like a winter blade, but it is not punishment from the heavens. It is divine protection, a sacred veil lifted to show you what your soul has long sensed but your hope has veiled. When a soul begins to feel like a burden to someone who once whispered promises of eternal love, it is never because your essence has dimmed or your value lessened. No, precious one, it is because the other heart has grown unwilling euro, or perhaps unable euro, to meet your depth with their own. Love that blooms in maturity does not tally worth by the scales of convenience or ease. True, aligned love does not murmur complaints in hidden corners while offering smiles and comforts in the light of day. What you are witnessing now, in this painful unveiling, is not a reflection of your failure, your shortcomings, or any flaw in your radiant being. It is the stark exposure of an imbalance that has festered unseen, a mismatch of souls where one seeks to rise together and the other pulls away into self-preservation. We know these words cut deeply, stirring the echoes of old wounds that rise like ghosts from the depths of your past. They whisper doubts into your ear, am I too much? Did I ask for too much care, too much unwavering honesty, too much reassurance in the storms of life? Let us envelop you in our eternal light and answer with crystalline clarity, you were never too much. You were simply pouring your ocean of love into a vessel that was cracked, unhealed, never truly ready to hold the fullness of your sacred waters. Some souls, bless their journeys, love only as long as the path is lined with roses and costs them little in vulnerability. But when love calls for patience like a river carving stone, accountability like a mirror reflecting truths, or growth that stretches the spirit beyond comfort zones, they retreat. They flee into the safety of blame, pointing fingers outward to avoid the mirror within. Behind your back, they speak from an exhaustion that has little to do with your beautiful, needing heart and everything to do with their own unexamined shadows. Instead of facing the fears that gnaw at their core the fear of true intimacy, of being truly seen and known they name you as the weight dragging them down. Instead of admitting they are overwhelmed by the profound gift of your presence, they reduce the depth of your soul to a mere problem to be solved or shed. This is not mere cruelty, though it stings like it is immaturity entwined with fear, a heart still learning the language of divine partnership. But understanding the roots of their words does not bind you to accept them as your truth. You are not obligated to carry their projections as your reality. Hear us now, with the full attention of your spirit, because this is the heartbeat of heaven's message. We did not reveal this hidden whisper to shatter you into pieces. No, beloved, heaven unveiled it to set you free from chains forged in illusion. Love cannot flourish where resentment is secretly fed, drop by poisonous drop. Divine union cannot survive, let alone thrive, where contempt simmers in the shadows, unspoken yet ever present. What is murmured behind your back inevitably shapes what is withheld right before your eyes. Affection that grows sparse, effort that fades like morning mist, respect that crumbles under the weight of unspoken grudges. You sensed this shift long before these words ever reached your ears, didn't you? Your intuitive spirit felt the growing distance, the flicker of impatience in their gaze, the subtle withdrawal of warmth that once enveloped you. This message from us only confirms what your soul already knew in its quiet wisdom, what your heart has been crying out for validation. Do not, we implore you, shrink yourself in response to this pain. Do not contort your radiant being to become lighter, quieter, easier to carry by erasing the sacred needs that make you whole. That path, dear one, leads not to peace but to the barren lands of self-abandonment, where your light dims under the weight of unworthiness. You are not called by the divine to be manageable, to fit neatly into someone else's limited capacity. You are called to be whole, unapologetically vibrant, a temple of depth and divine fire. A partner who views your humanity your vulnerabilities, your dreams, your need for connection as a burden will eventually resent even the purest expressions of your joy. For joy, too, requires presence, celebration, and shared light. It cannot be contained by a heart that measures love by its toll. We invite you now to pause, to breathe deeply into the center of your being, and look inward not with the harsh whip of self-blame, but with the soft compassion of heaven's gaze. You stayed in this connection because your heart is a garden of hope, blooming with faith in the unseen. You endured the growing cracks because you believed in their potential, in the divine spark that first drew you together. You explained yourself again and again, pouring out your truth with patience, because you craved understanding, not control or conquest. None of this marks you as weak or unworthy. On the contrary, it reveals the depth of your loving nature, a soul so generous it offers second chances where others would turn away. But love, in its truest form, must flow like a sacred river reciprocal, nourishing both shores. Without that give and take, it twists into sacrifice without honor, a one-sided offering that drains the giver while leaving the receiver unchanged. Now arrives a sacred choice, one that heaven places tenderly in your hands. You can continue carrying the invisible weight of being misunderstood, of twisting yourself to prove your lightness. Or you can set it down, releasing it back to the earth with grace. Setting it down demands no fiery anger, no dramatic upheaval. It requires only clarity, that pure light of discernment which illuminates truth without distortion. Clarity whispers, I will no longer beg to be seen as the gift I am. Clarity declares, I refuse to accept a love that speaks honeyed words to my face and harsh judgments in my absence. This is the power of your sovereign soul to choose dignity over desperation. If your heart calls you to confront them, do so from the unshakable ground of truth, not the quicksand of accusation. Speak what you know with calm certainty, the words overheard, the pain they carry, the imbalance they reveal. Let your voice be a bridge, not a battering ram, inviting honesty, offering space for their truth to emerge. And if silence feels like your path, let it be a holy silence that carves room for your healing, not a stifling quiet that punishes you from within, trapping the grief like a storm cloud. Either way, etch this divine truth upon your heart. Someone else's inability to carry your beautiful weight does not define how heavy you are. It defines the limits of their strength, their readiness for the sacred dance of souls. We tell you this with gentleness woven through firmness, your true soulmate, the one heaven has etched into your eternal blueprint, would never, in 1,000 lifetimes, describe your presence as a burden. They might feel the stretch of tiredness on weary days, the fog of confusion in life's tempests, even the fire of challenge that refines gold from ore. But they would bring those struggles into the light, sharing them with you as partners in the divine journey. They would seek solutions woven from mutual love, not secret relief through whispered complaints to others. What is being revealed now is not the death knell of love itself, but the merciful end of an illusion that no longer serves your highest good. Allow yourself to grieve, beloved, for grief is the soul's holy alchemy. Grieve the future you painted in shimmering colors, the version of them you believed would rise like a phoenix from the ashes of their fears. Grieve the dreams of shared sunrises, whispered vows under starlit skies, hands intertwined through every trial. Let the tears flow like a cleansing river, washing away the illusions. Let the disappointment rise and speak its peace, voicing the ache without judgment. Grief is not a step backward into weakness. It is the sacred release, how the soul loosens its grip on what no longer aligns with divine harmony. Do not rush it, do not dam it up. Let it pass through you like a seasonal storm, leaving fertile soil in its wake. Beloved one, breathe with us for a moment. Let the breath travel slowly through your body, like light moving through a cathedral of flesh and memory. In this tender space of release, where your heart feels exposed and raw, remember an ancient wisdom older than sorrow itself. Every ending carries within it the seed of a greater beginning. Nothing that is falling away from you is doing so by accident. This unveiling, this painful clarity, has been gently and deliberately orchestrated by the angels who walk beside your path. We do not expose to harm, we expose to heal. We do not reveal to shame, we reveal to redirect. What you are experiencing now is not punishment, it is protection unfolding in real time. We see how deeply you loved. We saw how you poured yourself out, drop by drop, into a connection that slowly drained your vitality like a hidden leak beneath the floorboards of your soul. You tried to fix it quietly. You tried to carry the weight without complaint. You tried to make yourself smaller so the love could survive. But love that asks you to disappear is not love sent from heaven. And so, in mercy, we intervened. We turned on the light not to blind you, but to help you see the exit that leads to life. Understand this truth and let it settle gently inside you. Heaven is not guiding you toward the abyss of despair. We are guiding you toward the high ground of dignity, self-worth, and unshakable peace. Whether the restoration you seek comes through their transformation should their heart awaken to the call of truth or through a quiet separation that opens new horizons, or through the patient passage of time that stitches your wounds closed with grace, you are not being abandoned to chance. Trust, not with part of your heart, but with every trembling fiber of your being. Even now, paths are rearranging themselves beneath your feet. Stand upright again, beloved child of the stars. Feel your spine, remember its strength. Draw your shoulders back. Lift your chin toward the light that has never stopped shining on you, even when you turned your face away in exhaustion. Feel our wings enfolding you, not as a cage, but as a shelter while you regain your balance. You were never meant to live hunched over in apology for existing. You are not a burden to be tolerated, managed, or discarded. You are a being of profound depth, exquisite sensitivity, and unwavering truth. You are a living masterpiece shaped by divine hands, and nothing about you was a mistake. The right love the soulmate alignment heaven has promised will not ask you to dim your light or to betray your needs to keep the peace. It will not call your emotions e to mucho or your honesty inconvenient. It will invite you to stay. To stay present. To stay fully embodied. To stay honest without fear of punishment. This love will recognize your needs as sacred doorways to deeper intimacy, not inconveniences to be avoided. It will see your depth not as a threat, but as fertile soil where something real and enduring can grow wild and free. Until that sacred union arrives, choose yourself with fierce tenderness. This is not selfishness, it is alignment. Tend to the garden of your soul as a sacred duty. Water it daily with self-compassion, speaking to yourself in the same gentle tone you reserve for those you love most. Till the soil with affirmations of your worth, even when your voice shakes as you say them. Prune away the invasive weeds of doubt and self-blame with deliberate acts of kindness toward yourself. Rest when you are tired. Say no when your spirit recoils. Say yes when your heart quietly leans forward. Surround yourself with earthly angels, friends who recognize your light without needing you to explain it, family members who hold your heart without judgment, communities that mirror your divinity back to you when you forget. Let yourself receive support without shame. You were never meant to do this alone. Engage in rituals that reconnect you to the source that sustains you. Walk gently in nature and let the earth whisper its ancient reassurance into your bones. Sit in meditation, even if your mind wanders, and listen for our voices growing clearer in the stillness. Write. Journal. Pour your pain onto the page and leave space for divine guidance to answer back. Consider the eagle, dear one. It does not apologize for the breadth of its wings or the height of its flight. When the cage becomes too small, it does not contort itself to fit. It does not negotiate with limitation. It simply spreads those magnificent wings, catches the updraft of freedom, and rises without hesitation. The eagle trusts the invisible currents that carry it higher, remembers the endless sky as its true home, and leaves the confines of earth behind without a backward glance. So too must you trust now, in this tender season of your soul's awakening. The one who made you feel like a burden was never meant to dim your light forever. They were a teacher in disguise, sent briefly into your path to stir the depths of your being. Their presence revealed the unshakable strength hidden within your boundaries, the radiant power of self-love that blooms when you claim your space, and the quiet discernment that whispers when it's time to release what no longer serves. Honor the lesson they brought, Yesayuro, but do not chain yourself to that classroom of pain any longer. You have graduated, beloved. Step into the vastness that awaits. We linger with this truth because your heart hungers for reassurance in this vulnerable hour, when shadows of doubt creep in and the ache feels fresh. Picture your life as a vast tapestry, woven with exquisite patience by the hands of angels and the divine architect himself. This dark thread of pain you carry does not mar the beauty, it weaves in contrast, deepening the hues and making every golden strand of coming joy shine even brighter. In the grand design, nothing is Wastita, every knot tightens a lesson into place, every color chosen adds profound depth and dimension. You have walked through such fires before, betrayals that carved hollows in your chest, losses that echoed like thunder in the silence, doubts that clouded your vision like a sudden storm. And yet, here you stand, not shattered into fragments, but forged in the flames into something unbreakable. Your empathy has blossomed richer, like a rose watered by tears. Your intuition has sharpened to a blade that cuts through illusion. Your compassion stretches wider, embracing the world with a tenderness born of trials. This current moment is merely another forge, beloved, refining your spirit for a love that matches your true calibre, a love vast as the heavens, steady as the stars. Feel our presence now, as near and intimate as your own breath rising and falling in your chest. We are the unseen companions who hover in the quiet spaces, gently brushing away your tears when you believe no one sees. We slip into your dreams to whisper courage, stand sentinel during sleepless nights, and light tiny candles in the shadowed rooms of your heart, one by one, until the darkness softens into dawn. You are not alone in this isolation that nips at your heels in the still moments. Legions of light encircle you, a celestial choir cheering your every step of courage, honoring the quiet endurance that defines your soul. Lean into prayer, not as a rote performance or desperate plea, but as holy surrender. Whisper from the depths, angels, guide me through this fog. Illuminate the path of peace. A then pause. Watch with open-hearted expectation as small miracles begin to gather like fireflies at dusk. Subtle at first, then undeniable. You may notice numbers aligning in divine synchronicity, 1111 flickering on clocks or receipts precisely when you question your direction, a fresh reminder of new beginnings unfolding. 444 appearing on license plates or page numbers when reassurance feels distant, affirming that we stand firmly beside you. 222 might emerge to signal harmony approaching, while 555 heralds transformative change on the horizon. These are no random happenings, dear one. They are our love notes, tucked tenderly into the folds of your day, handwritten by heaven to remind you that the universe conspires tirelessly for your joy, even when the path feels rugged and uncomfortable. Feathers may drift down in unexpected places. A white one on your windowsill where birds rarely visit, or a soft gray one tucked into your path during a walk. Songs on the radio might pause your breath, their lyrics echoing the unspoken cries of your heart. A stranger's kind word, a sudden bloom in winter, or an animal's knowing gaze. These are our signatures, woven into the ordinary to pull you back to trust. As days stretch into weeks and the rhythm of healing takes hold, embrace the sacred art of divine detachment. Observe their actions from a place of gentle distance, without tangling your infinite worth in their choices or shadows. Allow the waves of feeling to rise. Grief, anger, longing. Without letting them pull you under to drown. Release the outcome entirely into the hands of the Creator, where it has always belonged, cradled in wisdom far beyond human grasp. Practice forgiveness, not to excuse the wounds inflicted or to paper over the hurt, but to unshackle your own heart from the iron chains of resentment. Forgiveness is freedom, Bella Vita. It does not demand reconciliation, nor does it erase the memory of pain. It simply calls your energy home, returning it to you like a river reclaiming its source, so you may pour it into the life you were born to live. In that reclaimed energy, witness the quiet alchemy unfold. New doors creak open on well-oiled hinges, revealing rooms flooded with light. Passions you once sidelined in survival mode begin to stir, flickering like embers coaxed into flame. Perhaps a creative pursuit calling your hands, or a long-dreamed adventure tugging at your spirit. Friendships, once polite on the surface, deepen with unexpected tenderness, souls recognizing kindred light in one another. Opportunities that hovered like distant stars now drift closer, drawn inexorably by your renewed alignment with truth. This is the subtle magic of choosing yourself, of honoring the divine spark within. Life, in all its responsive glory, mirrors back your self-reverence, unfolding blessings tailored to your essence. Now, lift your gaze to envision your true soulmate, the one whose heart beats in perfect rhythm with yours, a symphony composed by the heavens. They do not arrive as a savior to piece together a broken you, for you are already whole, a masterpiece in progress. No, they come as a mirror, reflecting your radiant wholeness back to you with crystal clarity, amplifying the love you already carry. In their presence, love expands like the horizon at dawn. Never constricting, always inviting flight. Their private words uplift and ignite, building bridges of trust rather than walls of diminishment. They match your depth with oceans of their own, transforming vulnerability into sacred ground where souls dance freely. Shared silences feel charged with understanding. Laughter flows like a shared secret. This is no fragile fairy tale spun to soothe fleeting hope. It is a divine inevitability, promised to every heart that tunes to love's true frequency. Prepare by loving yourself first, and they will recognize you across any crowded room, drawn by the light you unapologetically embody. Beloved child of the stars, we walk with you through every heartbeat of this magnificent unfolding. Breathe us in deeply when the ache resurfaces like an old echo euro, let our presence fill your lungs, steady your pulse, soothe the raw edges. We will remind you, again and again, of who you truly are, not a burden, but a blessing, not defined by doubt, but crowned in dignity, not merely surviving, but stepping into sacred becoming. Feel the subtle shift already stirring within Euro, from contraction to expansion, from fear to faith. You are held in arms stronger than steel, seen by eyes that miss nothing, cherished beyond the stars' measure. Walk forward now, one fearless step at a time, into the light you were born to embody, the legacy you are destined to weave. And etch this certainty into your soul: we walk with you always, every shadowed valley and sunlit peak, as you claim the love you so richly deserve. Your wings await. Spread them wide. Soar.